Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Texas Gal Treasures. And hang on one second, honey baby, don't yank on that cord because it's wiggling mommy's computer. Thank you. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so this morning I thought I would come to you guys and talk a bit about Etsy. I have been getting a lot of messages about Etsy in the last day, basically because there have been some changes to eBay, or rather the eBay spring updates came out, and so a lot of people were frustrated by that. And now eBay's going to do what eBay's going to do, and you just kind of have to figure out how you're going to fit your business into what they've chosen to, to implement. So, but a lot of people have been asking me questions about getting started on Etsy, and they're saying, okay, well, now's the time because of this. I think the free returns is what's getting some people worried. And I'm not really going to talk a whole lot about that. A lot of other content creators are probably going to be talking more about that than I will. But I wanted to address some questions that have come up about Etsy, and maybe make it not as, I don't know. I understand it's scary starting anything new, but I've been selling on Etsy for, gosh, 6 years, 7 years. And I actually started Etsy before eBay, so I'm really comfortable with it, and I like it a lot. So let me go ahead and get started. So I'm live, and I've got a ton of windows going. So hang on one second. I'm trying to see what he's doing. My son is home. And Michael, don't do that. Thank you. Okay, yeah. You'll get the spray bottle like the cat. Anyway, so I put out a feelers in my group yesterday, International League of Thrifters, also in Jason's group, the Thrifting Board, asking for any questions that people may have as far as Etsy goes, and I'm going to do my best to answer them here today. So let me pop up the chat real quick, and then we'll get started. Hello, everybody in the chat. If you're watching later and you're interested in subscribing, I would love to have you subscribe. And if you're interested in being here when I go live so you can ask questions, then hit the little bell so you're notified. I usually post in the groups also before I go live, so there's that as well. All right, so let's dive into some of the questions. I have got a ton of windows open, so you'll have to try to bear with me. Let's see which one I have. Okay, that's that one. I am looking for the one with the questions. There, no, that's not it either. Video capture? Did I not grab it? Oh my gosh, did I not? Okay, no, I know I did. Okay, I've got this. Window capture? Oh my goodness gracious, you guys. Give me 1 second. Let me get because I have the questions pulled up. I could have sworn I can switch back and forth. How about that? I'll just switch back and forth. Okay, so here we go. Let's jump into some of these questions and get started. Is this really how I want to start? I had it all set up, and then I was like, wait a minute now. Okay, let me back up 1 second. I have got this up on my phone. This is on Etsy's website. However, it presents differently on the phone than it does on their website. So I have my phone connected. This is my phone screen I'm sharing here, so you guys can see what it is sharing. Oh goodness, y'all, I'm sorry, we're having a bumpy start. Give me 1 second. Let me mute 1 second. Hang on. Right there, babe. Right there. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, I'm having trouble organizing my thoughts this morning a little bit. Sorry. Okay, so here we go. So these are some basic questions. We'll just do a quick overview about Etsy. This is from their site, and this is on the phone app. The same site does not pull up the same information, so I'll link it. And I don't know why on the phone and on the website it doesn't show the same exact thing, but whatever. Okay, so this is on the phone, and it gives you a quick rundown. So why should you join? They're really low fees. Etsy transaction fee is 3.5%, which is way lower than on eBay. Now, bear in mind, I cross-post when I can on both platforms. There's lots of support and education, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so down here, so there's no monthly fee, so you don't have to have a fee to set up your shop or anything like that. And actually, I have a link down below if you want to get started for free. There's 40 free listings. So when you list an item, you pay 20 cents. So list an item, 20 cents. And then you don't pay anything again until it sells, or in 4 months, you can renew it for 20 more cents. So that 20 cents lasts for 4 months. So that's like a nickel a month, right? So there's that. And then when it sells, it's a 3.5% transaction fee, okay? Automatic deposits, and I know I got questions about how the money thing works, so we'll get into that too. I'll get my groove, y'all. I'm still waking up, I think. So here we go. Transaction fee, 3.5%. The payment processing, because they don't go through PayPal, so they have their own payment processing. It's 3.5% plus 25 cents. So there's that. And then we'll talk about the PayPal thing in just a second. So there's this. I just wanted to give you a quick rundown. And again, this is on the phone. I'll put the link in the video, and it's like etsy.com/sell. But if you go to the same thing on the website, it shows something else. And I'm looking, just scrolling through, seeing if there's anything else I wanted to share about. These are just people saying how wonderful it is. Okay. So and there are making changes to some of the things, but we'll get into that later. All right. If you're new here, really, I think it's just I'm trying to wake up today. I don't know what's going on with me. But hello. All right, so good morning, everybody in the chat. I'm going to get to any questions you guys have in just a second. Okay, I'll go ahead and answer Marianella's question real quick. Let me scroll this up down here on the chat. Hello. Y'all, I'm going to get it together. Okay, Marianella says, hi, just joining in. I have an eBay store and want to sell on Etsy as well. How do you determine what you will list on eBay and what you will list on Etsy? So that's a really great place to start, because that's just the kind of basic of where we're going with everything. So let me switch this back over. Oh gosh. You guys can vouch for me. You know that I generally know what I'm doing in here, but for whatever reason today okay, where is that? Here it is. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what can you sell on Etsy? This is the question. I'm getting my thing over here together again. There we go. Okay, so this is the same site that I was telling you it was different on the phone. So this is the same page. It just looks like this on the website. So what can you sell? You can sell things that are handmade, and we'll get into that in a second. What does that exactly entail? Things that are vintage, which is 20 years or older, which honestly, guys, it's like not that long ago. So like 1998, 1999. I think it has to be before 1999 to be vintage. And then supplies. And then as far as, let me break down these one at a time. Okay, so handmade stuff can be like, I knitted this doily and I'm going to sell it, or I made this shirt, I sewed it on my sewing machine. But it doesn't always have to be just that. So handmade can also include, and I'm going to share a couple of my shops because I have 4. One of my shops is my print on demand. So this is considered handmade, only I have a production partner. So you can sell print on demand stuff, and this is through Printful. So I have my Printful integration set up. I've done a number of videos on this. I've got links down below for that if you're interested, and I'll link some videos as well. So this is considered handmade. Another shop I have is my Texas Gal Homeschools, and these are mostly digital downloads, so also considered handmade. So these are things that people will buy them, and then I don't have to ship anything out. They just download them. And I don't want to overwhelm you, but I'm just wanting to show you there's so many options as far as Etsy goes. Now, in my vintage shop, my Texas Gal Treasure shop, yeah, I have vintage items, and when it, pardon me, when they talk about supplies, that can be anything that somebody would use to make something. So it doesn't have to be vintage. I think that's kind of where people get confused. So here are some of my supplies. You can see I've got patterns in here. Some are vintage patterns, but not all of them are vintage patterns. I've got fabric in here, some vintage, some not vintage. I've got, jewelry that may be not vintage jewelry. Maybe it's beads and things that people can use to craft with. I've got scrapbooks. So here's this, I've sold a few of these NASCAR scrapbooks. They're not vintage, but people use them as a supply. And also like embroidery kits that I pick up, and things like that. Embroidery kits, again, may not be vintage, but are considered a supply. So there's that. I'm trying not to go too fast. Okay, so handmade, we talked about that it doesn't have to be just like I made this thing, but it can be, and also I know people that are wholesalers, so they'll sell supplies, but they're wholesalers. Well, they're getting, I don't know, stickers from a wholesale and then selling them, breaking them apart and selling them on Etsy as a supply for crafting of some sort, beads, things like that. So there's a lot of options there for that. Let's see. Retro Band says, does each shop require a different email? It does. So you'll have a different email. And another requirement there is that you have to disclose in your shop settings all your different shops. So I have to tell, if somebody goes to my shop settings, they can see what my other shops are called. And you cannot cross-post on Etsy. So I can't have the same craft kit listed in my Texas Gal shop and in my homeschool shop. So you can't do that on Etsy. But it's really easy on the app. I can switch between my shops very quickly, just by switching accounts. So it's not, it sounds like it's a pain, but it's really not that big of a deal as far as that goes. Okay, so there's that. Let me know if you guys are here live, if I'm going too fast or if I'm not being clear enough. I was really wanting to take it slow and make sure that I was explaining things carefully. And I know I started off kind of bumpy this morning. Okay, so there's that. I'm looking at the questions now. Instead of trying to flip back and forth, I'll just read them out. So Debbie is asking, this is Debbie on International League of Thrifters. She says, I love to find out more about the sell-through rate with Etsy as opposed to eBay. Do you do anything in particular to move items more quickly? I found that I sold quite a few things on Etsy at Christmas, but the rest of the year would not sustain me financially as a full-time seller. I'm looking forward to your video. So sell-through rate, I don't personally go with, I know a lot of people focus on sell-through rate, and there's obviously nothing wrong with that. It's smart to know what you've got and what you're selling and your volume and things like that, but I'm not that kind of a retail seller. The kinds of things I sell are just one-offs. I don't have like 10 chairs or 100 red shirts. So finding the sell-through rate for me, I don't know. For me, it's not something I really pay close attention to. Do I pay attention to what sells? Yeah, a lot of my things are more long tail items, but I'm trying to think of how to word it. As far as the finding that things sell more quickly at Christmas, I do find that to be true. My sales on Etsy during the fourth quarter almost always do better than my sales on eBay during the fourth quarter. And this is one of the reasons I cross-post. So I cross-post on eBay and Etsy, and usually it balances out. Some months eBay does better, some months Etsy does better, but this is one of the reasons I cross-post. One second. Hey, Michael, that's a bit distracting. Okay, thank you. Let me know if I'm not answering that question. Let me look at it again. Do I do anything to move more items more quickly? Okay, as far as moving more items more quickly, I pin things to Pinterest on Etsy. I do the same on eBay. You can run sales. I do coupon codes. So when I send out, gosh, I'm so tongue-tied today. When I send out my packages, I have a coupon code for repeat buyers. You can also put something like that in your shop banner where, I'm having a Valentine's sale, enter this coupon code at checkout to receive 10% off, or things like that. So you can run ads. I mean, there are all of these type of things that you can do on Etsy. Also, Etsy works similarly, their algorithm, kind of like eBay, where they're looking for shop activity. So if you're just putting things up, and this is another question I got, was, how do you sell anything? I never get any sales. Well, if you're just putting things up there and just leaving them and walking away and not touching it for 6 months, yeah, unless somebody's specifically looking for this thing that you've got up there, it's not going to sell. So it's just like any other platform where they're looking for shop activity, they're looking for new listings, and that helps bring your shop and your items up in the search rankings. So let's see. Let's see. Okay, let me check the chat real quick. And y'all tell me if I'm just kind of blowing through things, because I want to make sure I'm answering the questions right. Let's see. Let me scoot this over. Your 8-month-old needed to hear what I had to say. Hello. Coupon. You were wondering about the coupon codes. Okay, so you can set up coupon codes. Let me pull up my shop real quick and see if I can show you that. Switching screens. Here we go. So here's my shop. Let me see if I can go behind the scenes real quick. Let me flip back over here before I do that, in case they ask me for passwords or something. All right, I'm switching over so I can see if I can pull up the coupon code thing. But you can change your shop banner to, okay, I think I can show you here. This is my dashboard over here for this. So you can change, where is it? Marketing, is this where it is? Sales and coupons right here. So you can create, I have some sales going on, and I haven't created a coupon code in a long time because, you know what, I may have to just do a separate thing because I don't want to sit here and dig around in my shop trying to find it. That would be super boring for you guys. But you can create your coupon codes till, I think my coupon code that I have on my mail outs expires in 2020 or something like that. You can put the coupon code to expire whenever you want. So shipping is the most confusing. I'll get there for sure. Hey Tam, we haven't gotten too far into it. Apparently I'm super tongue-tied today and can't get my... Vintage Christelle says, won't you get in trouble for unavailability of items on eBay after a sale on Etsy when cross-posting? Well, the way I do this, and I get this question a lot, I have both apps on my phone. So when I get a sale, it makes a cha-ching. So cha-ching on Etsy, cha-ching on eBay. And as soon as I get that cha-ching, I go to the other shop and I deactivate the item. So if it sells on eBay, I go deactivate it on Etsy and vice versa. And I've gotten the question before, well, don't you get a ding on your account if you end an item? Well, not if you're ending it because it's no longer available. So if you're ending an item because, you know, for whatever reason, but I've been doing this for 4 years where I've been cross-posting, 4 years, 5 years. I started on Etsy maybe 6 years ago, and then pretty soon afterwards I started cross-posting on eBay. So I've been doing this for a while, and no, you don't get in trouble. Now, if that item sells and I forgot to deactivate it or end the item on eBay, then sure, I'll get, you know, some sort of, I know they don't like to call it a ding, but you know, for saying this item's not available, cancel this sale, blah blah blah. Then yeah, you'll get whatever you want to call it on your account for that. But I've only maybe had that happen a couple times. And then I get the question also, well, what happens if it sells at exactly the same time? You know, or it sells here and before you can deactivate it, it sells over there. I think I've had that happen once in 5 years. So it's not something that I worry too much about. Let's see. What's the rules on digital downloads and copyrights? Can I upload old black and white family photos for people to use in crafting? That is a good question, because I don't know if the copyright owner is the person that originally took the picture or if it's the person that has the photograph. I don't know the rules of copyright as far as that goes. I know people do this. I mean, I know people take things that are in the public domain and do that. So if you were looking for black and white photos in the public domain and things like that, you could do something like that because it's in the public domain. So yeah. Is there a way to promote with Etsy, such as a fee to have your items in recommended lists? There is, and when you're looking at Etsy, let me get over here. So when I do a search, let's say I'm searching for a skull, I don't know why I said skull in my brain, skull cufflinks. Okay, well, what's going to pull up are these ads. So you see these are people that have paid to get their things promoted in ads. And then there's also some that they pop up halfway through the search through the page, these ads. So there are ways to promote your listings in that way. Why did I think of skulls this morning? That's weird. Okay, whatever. That's cool. So Delinda's asking, so when you are talking about cross posting, are you listing an item on eBay and list the same thing on Etsy? Yes. So on eBay, you can list anything that's not against their terms there. On Etsy, it's vintage supplies, handmade. So the things that I post on Etsy that are also on eBay will be things that are supplies or vintage items. Now, if I have a brand new Lego kit, I'm not going to put it on Etsy. But everything else that I will list on both places. What is that app? Which app? Etsy app? I'm not sure which one you mean, Ty. Let's see. Marianne Ellis says, do you think jewelry sells better on Etsy versus eBay? I get that question a lot too. It's a good question, but I sell it on both pretty equally. Lately, I have been getting more sales on Etsy, so Etsy wins right now. But I do. I post it on both. And I'll get to the pricing, how I do my pricing in just a second too. Tam says, do you sell on Poshmark? That's so funny. I just posted this morning. I just listed my first item on Poshmark. I just have so many platforms and balls in the air. I hadn't started there yet. But because I sell so much jewelry, I thought, you know what? Let me try listing. Even if I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I found that listing was more of a pain on Etsy versus eBay. What do you find makes it easier? I'll do a listing. I'll show you that in just a second. Connie, for sure, because I do have a method where it's pretty quick. I list on Etsy first, definitely. Vintage Crystal, I've been on Etsy and eBay for 12 years, but have been a chicken to cross-post. And when I first started cross-posting, I guess it was 2012, 2013, it did take time because I had a lot of listings. So it took me some time to start in doing that and building that up. Cross-posting things, so it did take time in the beginning, but now it's really quick. I do it immediately. I'll list it on Etsy and then I go over and I copy it onto eBay. And there's not an app, or if I could write an app to do that, I would make so much money. But right now there's not an app. So the Cha-Ching app you spoke. Oh, Ty. Yeah. Well, the Etsy. Their app and eBay's app makes the cha-ching sound automatically. I guess you can set it up in your settings. So if you have the Etsy app and the eBay app, they both have the sound cha-ching, So there's that. It's a default. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the questions from the groups to make sure that I'm hitting everything. Mariama is asking, how do you price your vintage items on eBay? Is there a way that you can look up sold? So there's two separate questions. So let's say I've got these three little pigs ashtray that I've got right here. And I have it listed for $52.99. It's on sale right now on my Etsy shop. I list high. So the reason I do that is generally I can get a higher price on Etsy because people come there looking for things that are maybe gifts, more unique items. So I tend to price my items high. And then I put the same price over on eBay, but then I have my best offer on. So if somebody sends me a best offer on eBay, I can choose to take it or choose to not take it if I don't like that price. So that's kind of where I go with that. And I did get this question as well. I don't have it on here, but in my shop settings, and I thought it used to have a little phrase up here, but I'll have to look at that. Or you can put it up here in your banner. You can take offers on Etsy as well. Now they can't send you an offer like click on your thing and send an offer like they do on eBay. But I used to say it on here, but maybe it's down here. Hang on. Read more on my shop settings. Okay, here we go. So where I have here, I'm always willing to negotiate reasonable offers and bulk mailings. Just shoot me a message. So basically, somebody can send you a message and say, hey, I'm interested in this 3 pigs thing. So you can open this up and then you can send a message. There was like a little button that lets you send a message and tag this item. So you can, and I've had this happen where they'll send a message and say, hey, I'm interested in this. Would you consider this price? And so I've gone back and forth with people through message on Etsy to negotiate a price there. So you can put it in your welcome message here, or in your banner up here, you can put, a coupon code. You can put reasonable offers, welcome, or whatever, you'd like to put there. So there's that. And is there a way to look up solds? Is another Mariama's question. Now, when it comes to Etsy, it's different than eBay, where on eBay, you can search for something and then click, solds, and it pulls up all the solds from everybody. It doesn't work that way on Etsy. On Etsy, if you want to see a seller's solds, you'll come where it says right here, I've had 1,002 sales. You'll click on that, and then it pulls up everything that has sold there. Now, Etsy just changed this last year where sellers can hide this if they choose to. So I don't hide it. Now, it doesn't, let me give this hang on, let me open up a tab for you so you can see. It does not tell you the price, but there is a way to find the price. So let's say I just sold this, strawberry shortcakes sheet set. And you see that and you're like, oh, I have one of these, I need to sell it, but I don't know what you sold it for. So what you can do is you go to their item, click on it, and then you can select the URL up at the top. You'll select that, and there's a site called Flipper Tools, and you come down to Etsy sold price, click that, and then you enter in the URL and search, and it'll pull it up and tell you what it sold for. So it sold for $14.99. So Flipper Tools is cool like that, because then you can also see, like on eBay, if somebody sold something with a best offer, there's that as well. So another way, like sometimes when I'm searching for an item, I Google search it and do like Google image search. And sometimes when I click on it, it'll pull up an Etsy listing that has sold. So that's another way if you're searching for something that comes up sometimes in that way. Okay, let me check our chat here, and then I'll go back to some of the questions. And again, let me know if I'm not super clear so I can clarify. Ching. Thanks, Sam. Cindy says, I have a bunch of listings on eBay that could be listed on Etsy. Is it worth my time to go through them and list them all on Etsy now? I would think so. I mean, that's how I got started. Or you can just start anew as you're listing things newly, and then maybe add one of them every now and then. When I first started, I had a number. I had a lot, 100 or more that I was trying to do, and get them over there. And again, there's that 40 free listings if you are opening a new shop. So definitely take advantage of that. And then also, I want to put this out there, because if you're doing that and you're getting the 40 free listings and you've got a friend that wants to join, there's a way to share the link where if they sign up with your link, you get 40 free listings and they get 40 free. So just like I'm doing. So you're going to get 40 free listings if you use the link. Well, I will get 40 free too. So there's a perk for both sides. So once you are in and you have your shop, if you've got any friends or you want to share it out on your Instagram or on social media, so that you can start getting free listings as well, because that kind of helps with especially when you're new and you're starting to list and you don't have the money coming in from the sales yet. I mean, you may on eBay or other platforms, but it's something to definitely do. I recommend it. I'm thinking of doing something as I don't know. I'll tell you about it later. Maybe, I don't know. Because I have my link, down in the description, so I could easily put somebody else's there. And I'm trying to think about a way that I could do that as like a viewer reward, like get your link put in there to get some free listings when people sign up. I don't know. Because, share the love. Why not, right? Okay, so in the chat, before I go on, I have a bunch more questions that are on the Facebook side, but I want to say, oh, thanks, Thelma. Hey, how's it going? Let's see. 81 says, I share my items on social media, cross-post someone, add new items every week. I still only have 20 sales in a year. What else can I do to bring more traffic to my store? Well, another thing to do would be maybe join some teams. I used to do a lot with the teams when I first started on Etsy. I don't really do anything anymore. Or going to some of the groups. There are promotion groups on Facebook. Our International League of Thrifters has a thread every day where we share and pin each other's items. So you'll have 5 or 6, 10 people pinning your item. I know the thrifting board does sharing threads, like social media share threads. So just joining in on some of those things where you're helping people share their things as well. I'm trying to see if I can find where the teams are down here. Okay, so if you're looking at, so here's your Etsy page, and you scroll way down, all the way down here. Under Sell, there's a thing called Teams. And again, when I first started, I did a ton of stuff with Teams. This is my team, Super Pickers team, Resellers Forum team. So there are teams here that you can join, and you can search. Let's say all you sell is jewelry, or you make jewelry. There are teams that are just for people who make jewelry. There's teams for people who sell. I don't know. Anyway, you can join different teams, and then within that, they have sharing threads and go heart people's items or go share, pin, there's tons of ways to do that. And again, when I first started, that's what I did. I joined a lot of these groups and joined in on a lot of the promoting threads to get more activity in my shop, and Etsy seeing all this activity and people are looking at your stuff and, hearting your things and favoriting your shop and blah, 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 to get your things up in rank. Yeah, so there's that. Again, I haven't done it in a long time. I would just sit in front of the TV, in the evenings and just, join and go and heart people's things and do all of this stuff. So, okay, so, do you think having a YouTube channel boosts your sales? That's a good question. I don't think so. I mean, sometimes when people ask for things in my haul videos, usually I'll sell it to them straight through PayPal before I ever list it. My mystery box, I know somebody asked something about that. This is the only thing that I think has really had an impact. Some people have come and bought my mystery box from seeing it in a video, but other than that, no. I mean, I do videos on things that move, so sometimes that might help. So like, let's look at my solds. I sold this necklace. Did I sell it on here? Yeah, here. So this necklace that sold, I created a YouTube video to show how it moves and stays. Now on eBay, I embedded the video, the YouTube video. There's a way to do it. Anyway, but on Etsy, there's not really a way to do that, but I did link, see the video of how this necklace can be manipulated and moved, so people could come and open that video and see. I mean, I do think that helps if you've got an item that moves or makes noise or does funky stuff, to have a video. So I think that helps. It doesn't hurt. I mean, certainly, I don't think. Let's see. I'm reading here. Is it better to have the same store name on a selling platform or different on each one? I guess it's a personal preference. I'm the same everywhere. I'm Texas Gal Treasures here. My shop's everywhere. I'm Texas Gal Treasures. I have only had a question a couple times about prices, because sometimes things will be on sale in one store, and I'll get somebody saying, hey, no fair. I see your item is $10 less over on eBay than it is over here on Etsy, and I'll just say, well, obviously I'll honor the lower price, and definitely, I've got a sale running over there, or sometimes there's an error in the listing, and oh my goodness, I didn't notice that, but I'm happy to honor the lower price. But I think that's only happened a couple times. So, yeah, it's a personal preference, I think. Yeah. Piggies are cute. Thanks. Do you find you get less views on Etsy? I found that to be true, but I've listed very few. I mean, yeah, I would say between eBay and Etsy, eBay definitely gets more traffic. Etsy's getting better, though. I mean, definitely. As far as, my print-on-demand stuff, yeah, Amazon is number 1, my Etsy is number 2, print, my Teespring, whatever, is after that. So, but Etsy's getting better with their traffic, definitely. So, hi, Stephanie. Can I go over? Let me just start over for you, Sherry. Sure, why not? Is there an issue with mystery boxes on Etsy? Some platforms delete listing that says mystery box. I haven't done a mystery box on eBay. I know that there's rules and things like that as far as that goes, but there are mystery boxes on Etsy. There's all kinds of different mystery boxes. Like I got these little pins. This lady from Tremendous Tiny, I'm gonna give her a shout out. She does, mystery pins. Like you fill out a little questionnaire, like what you like and things like that, and she makes these little pins for you. So I should shout out for her. She makes some cute stuff too. Follow her on Instagram. She does like embroidery hoop things too. But yeah, this was a mystery pin box, and I was like, ooh, that'd be kind of fun. Let's see what she would make for me if I fill out this questionnaire, and she'll send out the thing. And so like I have my mystery box of jewelry, because why not? It's fun. Because it's fun. I'm trying to get back to my shop. Hang on, pop this up over here. Okay, so let me see what's next in the chat, and then I'll go back to the other questions. Da-da-da-da-da. That's right. I'm starting over again for sure. Oh, it jumped. Hang on. Is there an... Okay, now we read that one. What's the percentage of sales? Okay, so eBay takes 10%, PayPal, da-da-da-da, all that. Etsy's are... I just said it. 3.5% final value fee. Let me see if I still have it up on my phone. I can switch back to that. So you can see. You switch it back over. I'm switching it so you can see, because I will not misspeak. You guys don't need to see that. There we go. It's my phone. I'm screen sharing my phone. Hang on. Pop it back up. Here we go. So scrolling back to that part so you can see. Here it is. So when you list an item, it's 20 cents. Transaction fee when it sells is 3.5%, and then the payment processing is 3.5 plus 25 cents. So, and the 20-cent listing fee lasts for 4 months. So it's really good. You get more of your profits. Okay. Oh, bye, Marianella. Thanks for taking your prep time. Goodness, I know time is of the essence as a teacher. Believe me, I've been there. I'm curious what designer items on eBay and vintage designers on Etsy. Are there certain designer brands that aren't allowed, such as... No, I don't think so. I mean, as long... If they're vintage on Etsy, it'd have to be a vintage Coach purse or a vintage Dooney or vintage Nike. But yeah, it would be allowed. So, Etsy sale, jewelry sale super duper low. I don't know, vintage Christelle. I mean, what we used to do shop reviews in International League of Thrifters. I'm wondering, let me know what you think about this, because I've kind of gone back and forth about doing this, having like doing a video of a shop review. I hesitate to do it because I know I'm not like the master or anything like that, but sometimes maybe we'll do that again where it's a shop review in the group. I'll start a thread in International League of Thrifters to do shop reviews again. And when you can put your Etsy shop or your eBay shop, and we can then it's a whole group. You got a whole group of people looking at it and giving you tips and things like that. Because what one person misses, another person may say, hey, what about this? So, just noticed, I have 2 of those bendable necklaces, Darlene says. What's a good way to photo earrings? I'll have to, it depends on the earrings for sure, but I have a video where I do like photographing jewelry and things like that. How many sales a week is average for you on Etsy? It just really depends. I mean, right now it's slow because I'm just getting things ramped back up. I'd spent so much time on merch and print on demand that I really let things slide on my Etsy and eBay. But now that I am starting to ramp that back up, I mean, when I was doing it year before last, when I was really diligently listing all the time, I would have, oh gosh, I'm trying to think, a lot. I mean, my goal was to make $200 a week because I'm part-time, but some weeks I would have $500, $600 a week with my eBay and my Etsy. So this, oh gosh, I hate to even say this week because it's, I don't know, I had 5 sales I shipped out yesterday. So I don't know, it's slowly getting back. So I'm a mom. This is the way it is. So, my guys have been so sick, you guys know. Oh my goodness. Anyway, my name is nearly the same. Okay. Does Etsy offer discounted shipping like eBay? That's a good question. I think so. I'm trying to think now. Like, I just pay it. I just go with it. So, yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to look that one up because I think yes, but I have to double check that. S. Chandler, what is considered vintage by Etsy? It has to be 20 years or more older. So, have you ever had anything removed that wasn't considered vintage? Yes, I have. And it was just, they'll send you a little notice saying, hey, usually it's somebody reports it. Somebody will say, this item is not vintage. But it happens every now and then. Something will slip through because I'll just be in a roll like cross-posting things and I'll miss something and then I'm like, oops. But it doesn't happen very often. So it would be good to know how to do those for others. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, I'll get to the payment stuff for sure. Does Etsy send you a tax form at the end of the there's a printout. So you go, I'm not going to go do that. I'm very ready to see my tax form. But yeah, there's a place where you can print that out. Oh, thanks. Oh, same. Oh, thank you, Jill. Okay, yeah, same as eBay. Okay, let me go back to some of the questions in the Facebook group because I know I've got quite a bit more. So Daniel Richardson was asking me this question: who buys on Etsy? I'm new at this. I've been on eBay and Etsy for 6 weeks. I haven't sold one thing on Etsy. eBay's blowing up 20 to 25 items a week. I don't like a lot of new stuff they're doing, but Etsy's not selling. Who is buying? Lots of people. I know a lot of people think or say, like it's more women than men, which may be true. But I sell a lot of men's accessories, cufflinks, tie tacks, tie bars, vintage stuff. I sell overseas. I get a lot of international sales. I've maybe had one return in 5 or 6 years, 1 or 2 returns. I rarely get returns on Etsy. I'm trying to think what else. I don't know who buys. Lots of people. Men, women, Germans. I don't know. Lots of people. So yeah, but definitely keeping on listing helps your shop just the same way as eBay. So Cheryl Brewer says, if you notice that there are 1 to 2 other people selling the same vintage item as you on Etsy, do you list it anyway or wait till their sells? Also, what do you think if they have their price too low? Yeah, I list it. One, I think having stellar photographs really, really helps because sometimes people will pay more for an item if your picture looks better, and then there's that perceived value where it's like, wow, this looks really nice. It's more, but it may be the same exact item, but if one item looks nicer than another in the photographs, people will be willing to pay more for it. So I'm trying to think if I don't have any examples pulled up right now where I can share, but some people's photographs are darker and it looks like they just took it on their stove and, so taking the time and it's, believe me, here, I'll share some of my early photos were horrible. And I know I've shared in videos before, but let's go look at some of when I first started, it was something I had to learn, hang on, let me sort these from, I think there's a way to sort. Maybe I have to do it in the other way. Yeah, there is a way to sort from oldest. I don't know why it's not showing that right now. Hang on. But anyway, some of my older sales, maybe I can do this down here. Oh, it'll take me forever to flip through. The pictures were not that awesome at all. But as my photography skills got better, it definitely improved my sales. It improved the amount that I could ask, my prices and things. I'm sitting here trying to flip through because I think I can find it, but probably not. I think you can take my word for it, though. They were really bad. But I take pictures with my phone. I have my iPhone, and then, I can brighten them up. Yeah, it's... Okay, it'll take me forever to get there, y'all. I don't know why it's... Anyway, you get the idea. Whatever. Who needs you anyway, solds? Okay, okay. I've been selling crafting supplies on Etsy for years. I wish I sold just as much as Etsy. Yeah, the new Etsy has their seller update out as well, which I will share in just a second. But they're closing the studio. Did you use the studio? Because I just never did. I mean, some of my things they automatically shared over to the Etsy studio, but that was only open for like a year, right? I guess they tried it. Yeah. Can you do a tutorial on international shipping? I will try to remember to do that. Yes. I'm gonna show my shipping stuff in just a minute. I know this is probably gonna be a long video, but if I wanted to cover all this stuff, supplies are handmade, don't need to be vintage on plants, natural product, organic lip balm. So yes. Okay, yeah, PicMonkey is a really great place for that. Okay, so over on the thrifting board I shared, Thomas Tucker shared the link for the Etsy seller handbook. And honestly, there's not a ton of changes, but they're getting rid of the Etsy studio and marketplace. It was just something I never even used, so it didn't really affect me a lot. Let's see. I know I had some more questions about shipping and stuff. Maybe did I miss them somewhere? I know I did. Hang on. Because I remember Juliana shared some questions. Hang on. I may have to go back and see what happened to them. Did I not? Hang on. Let me go look for them real quick because I know there were a bunch more questions. Over here. Maybe. Oh, you know what? Did I share? I shared it in the jewelry group too. I thought I had pulled everything up. Hang on. I bet she commented over in the jewelry group. Ah! This is me trying to be on top of the game and getting everything. Okay, jewelry group. Where is the questions? There they are. Haha! I knew it. I knew I had it somewhere. Okay. So, let me pull these questions up over here. We've all got time to. Thanks, Clarence Ninja. I just know, sometimes it's okay. Let me switch. Where's my phone one? Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Which one do I want to switch over to? Pop this up. Okay, I'm just going to switch. Window capture, file. Y'all bear with me. Here we go. Okay, so here are these. I'm just covering everything up now. There. Okay. These questions. Man, okay. The shipping setup. Okay, so let's take a look at the shipping on Etsy. That was the one I was looking for. I'm switching back over to my shop so I can show you how the shipping looks. Here it is. Okay, so let's take a look at one of my listings so that you can see how the shipping setup is. I really like the shipping setup on Etsy. There's a couple different ways to do it. They've got, here, let's just click on this one. I'm going to edit, or I'm going to go into edit so you can see. When you, let me scroll down to where that is. So here's my shipping. Now, I have set up shipping profiles down here so I can quickly decide like how much I'm going to charge for this item. There's a couple different ways to do that. You can set up calculated shipping where you enter in the package dimensions and the weight, and to me that sounds like a big headache for every single item I list. But if I'm listing all of these cufflinks and all of these tie tacks, I know it's probably going to ship out for about $3.50, or so. So I've got this fixed price. So I'm like, okay, $4. That's what's going on there. And you can say, this is $4 for this place. For Canada, I can go through the post office and figure out what it's going to cost for me to ship to Canada, what it's going to cost me to ship something that's going first class. It weighs 4 ounces. To different places. So you could go through and enter every country in the whole world if you wanted to. I put everywhere else $28, and then if I have another item that sells with that, oh, I feel like I'm going too fast. So you can set this up and have it ready to go. Again, they do have a thing where you can enter in the calculated shipping if you choose to. Now, I do put in my listings because I know the price on the international stuff I have is a bit higher. Am I sharing, you guys? What am I? Let me see what you guys are seeing. Y'all tell me if I'm not sharing correctly. I can't see the screen. Okay, I'm good. Okay. So yeah, there's a way to do that. I personally just do it this way, and then in my listing, I put international shippers. Please send me a message with your location so I can update the shipping costs. So I know it comes across as like, ooh, it's super high to send it to France, but if they'll message me in advance, then I can adjust that. And usually, if my shipping is off by more than a couple bucks, I refund the difference anyway. So it's, I'm not trying to gouge people on shipping. It's just easier for me to do it that way personally. So yeah, so there's that. But here you can see if I wanted to do it by calculated, I can enter in the weight, I can enter in the package dimensions, and they'll calculate the shipping for me. But this is just easier for me personally. Okay, so let me publish that back out. See if I answered that question adequately, or if there are any more. I've got a lot of different windows right now. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to juggle these windows so I can find you. Where did you go? Where's my chat? There you go. Okay, shipping setup. Okay, and I think I've done a video about that. I can always do another video about the shipping settings and things. Good heavens, my windows are bouncing around over here. Okay, so you were asking about the shipping setup. I've been listing on Etsy. This is Stephanie for the past few weeks. I think I'm up to 50 listings, sell mostly vintage, doing the cross-posting. Okay. Okay, Juliana's questions. Here we go. How does payment work on Etsy since it doesn't go through PayPal? Good question. So on Etsy, and this is the same for the shipping as well. On eBay, when somebody buys something and you go to ship it, the payment comes straight out of my PayPal. This is how it works for me. So when they pay, I get paid through PayPal, and it comes there to me. Then the shipping, goes, I get the little notification through PayPal, you've paid for this much shipping. And then at the end of the month, I'll get this bill from eBay saying this is your bill for the month. So that's how that works for eBay, for me. On Etsy, just to slow down, on Etsy, it's sort of like they have a little, like they're like an Etsy bank, When people buy stuff, it goes into your money there on Etsy. When you pay for shipping, it's taken out of that money. And then at the end of the month, let me see if I can pull this up. Or it doesn't even have to be at the end of the month. It could be every other week. You can set it up. Then you pay your fees out of that as well. Let me see if I can pull it up so you can see this. It might make more sense. Okay, so let me pull this up. So here's my payment account, right? So it shows, hang on, let me scoot that over. So it shows here, available for deposit $32, right? I can schedule an earlier deposit if I choose to. This is my current balance. And where's my bill? Your bill. Okay, so right now my bill is $66.56. So I can make a payment. My outstanding balance is here, my unpaid fees, which is okay. But what I can do is when I make a payment, it'll pull like, here, do you want to pay this much apply this much from your fees or from what you already have ready to come out to you, your payment, or do you want to pay straight from your PayPal or your Visa or whatever? So I don't know if that makes much sense to you guys, but that's kind of how that works. So you can get paid every 2 weeks. You can request an earlier deposit, but basically it comes in one chunk instead of just like a trickle of money here, trickle of money here, trickle of money here. It's sort of all tidy and condensed. Hopefully I feel like I could have articulated that a bit better, but how do you take best offers? I kind of covered that already. Do photos need to be dressed up? I don't dress mine up. I don't have I tried that a while back where I would put like cute little things around the item. No, I just stick them up there. How easy is it to edit a listing or take it down if it's sold? Really super easy. So let's say again that this item sold on eBay. Then I would just come over and click on deactivate, and then it would be deactivated. So there was that. What sells better on Etsy than on eBay? I don't know, because I cross post. It's hard for me to tell on that. And then Mary says, I love Etsy. I know a question that's asked often is, how do the prices compare on Etsy versus eBay? Are they generally higher for the like item, lower, or the same? I find that I can get a higher price on Etsy for things. So that's why I tend to price higher and then take best offers on eBay. Okay, let me jump back into the chat here. Again, I feel like I just flew through that. So, PicMonkey, yeah, and I've done a couple videos. PicMonkey, PhotoFuse is awesome. I use PhotoFuse a lot, and I know I did a video on that as well. And Carly, Poetry of Nice, has a video on that too. Shipping from Canada can be so annoying. Yeah. Bye, Laura. Thanks for coming. How is it going? Cost a bunch to ship to Canada. Hey, take off. Can you turn off shipping for outside the US? Yeah, absolutely. You can just have it shipping within the US if you want. You can, like, I could take off everywhere else. You can pick and choose on that totally. So you don't have to add, Salvage Gal says, so you do not have to add in shipping costs to the price of the item. No, you don't. I mean, if you're doing free shipping, which you can do that as well, you can do free shipping and add it into the price of the item. That works as well. You mentioned using eBay to get more traffic versus Etsy. I want to use Printful, but how does it work with eBay? I don't do Printful with eBay. I think Jeff does, maybe. Or another platform. Jeff may use another, I can't remember what Jeff uses. He does a lot. So, yeah, I do Printful with Etsy, not with eBay. So I don't know how that would work. Ooh, I feel like I missed some questions. But if I did, let me look over on my Instagram because I think I shared it there as well. Real fast. Let's see. Is it like eBay that you have to list ways, or is it quality of listing? I struggle with good titles, descriptive words. Musting Mary asks. I think quality, definitely. I mean, getting your listings up there is good, but then quality is going to count for something as well. And then Mimi Flips a Lot says, I'm very new to Etsy. In your video, you're going to touch on listing, shipping, and disbursements. So we talked about listing. I'll do a quick run, like show you quickly how easy it is to cross post. And then that'll probably be the last thing I do because that's probably the most boring part. And I know I've done videos about it before, but I'll do that too. Shipping, it's just like with eBay. I mean, when it sells, you ship it. Yeah. And disbursements, yeah, we talked about that. Okay. So let's do a quick listing. Let's see. Let me screen share real fast. So, did I not prep one? I guess I didn't really prep one. Hang on. I'm going to do a practice one. The pictures aren't edited, so just know that this is not going to be my for real listing because I haven't edited my pictures. Shop manager. Let me get back over here where I need to be so you can see. I am going to add a new listing real quick. So let's do this where I'm going to pretend to add a new listing just so you can see the rundown of how it looks. And then we'll call it. If any more questions pop up in the chat, then I'll cover those too. Let me close these windows out because I've got too much going on. Go over there and hit the like button. I keep forgetting to ask. I didn't ask, rather. Okay, so here we go. So when you first create a listing, this is what pops up. I'm so excited because you used to only be able to add 5 photos, but now you can add 10, which is awesome. I'm going to unplug my phone so I can get my mouse back over here. My phone was plugged in where my mouse goes. Okay, now we can really rock and roll. All right, so here we go. So photos, you want to add 10 photos. So let's do this. I'm going to add these photos from, and again, I haven't edited these pictures yet, so just know these are going to be edited later. Oh, what are these ones? Do I want to do this? Okay, so I'm adding these pictures in. not edited. Oh wait, you can only add 10. Darn, I added too many. Okay, so let's do these. Open. So then I'm going to come in here and create a title. A lot of times, because this one that I'm listing is cufflinks, I'll go to one of my cufflink listings and just copy in the listing and then take out what I want to take out. But here, you know, I'll add my title, gold tone, rectangle, cufflinks, and you get a lot of title space for sure. So I'll go through, write my whole big title out. I'll try to think of as many descriptive words as I can. The maker, who would wear it, that kind of thing. Really just plug it in as much as I can. Let me pull up another listing so you can kind of see. Not that one. Let me go back to my normal shop. How about that? That would be super helpful. Oh dear. Y'all. Okay. Yeah, Jeff, I'm ignoring you. So here, you can see, like, I have this super long title. I try to get as much in there as I can. I'm not going to bore you by writing this super long title out. Okay, so here, about this listing, who made it? I did. No, I did not. This is not, if this was a printful listing, anyway, another company or person. We'll go with that. Okay, what is it? It's a finished product. When was it made? It was made before 1999. So these are your, like, time frames. So if you have something made in the 60s, 50s, or so before 1999, that's what it has to be made by. Okay, so category. These are cufflinks. So going to accessories, and some of them you have to dig around to try to find where it is. But once you have listed the same sort of item, you kind of figure it out pretty quickly. So these are suit and tie accessories, and then cufflinks, tie clips, and then cufflinks, like so. So then choose primary color. Sometimes I don't do these, sometimes I do. They're gold. Can it be personalized? No. No gemstone. I don't really click style because unless it's an obvious style, I just leave that blank. Recipient, material, holiday doesn't really apply. Do I want to automatically relist this in 4 months, or do I want to do it manually? There's that. And then physical is, if this was a digital download, like one of my coupon things from my homeschool shop, I would select that, but it's not, so it's a physical item. Now, another thing I do is I have a sort of template that I use. So I just come over and I copy from another listing, like so, copy that. I come over here and I paste it, and then I just take my title. Usually it'll be longer. I know it's not right now. And that'll be my first line. Then I come through my description and I'll quickly change it, changing this because I'm changing it to my description. And then I'll put my measurements, my condition, and if it's got a brand. And then down here, I'll put the shop section. You can, I can't remember how many shop sections they give you, 12 or something. It's not like eBay where you have like infinite shop sections. So you have to really use them wisely. And then tags. Tags are your SEO. I know this is the part that people are like, oh my gosh, the tags are killer for me. But if you're copying, like let's say I have another tie pin and I just copied this listing, it's going to fill all that stuff in for me already. So if I were doing that, it would just already all be filled in. But what you want to do here is, what would people be looking for? So they would look for gold cufflinks. And then I might spell it the other way, because some people spell cufflinks separated. Gold cufflinks. Hyperlinks. And you'll go through and just add, I might put in there like Mad Men or Dan Draper, or it's a little more, I don't know, subjective. And if I get stuck, then I'll go search for my item or search for something similar and see what other people have put on theirs down at the bottom. Pardon me. So then I'll add my price. I want it to be $100 if I wanted that. And then I don't do a SKU variations. Like if I had multiple items, then I could put, I have a blue one, a green one, a yellow one, whatever. And then here's where my shipping, these are the things that I've pre-filled out. So they're here ready for me to choose from. then I can select, well, this is what my go-to is for that size and weight of item is my $4 listing. If I choose, I can do this one, and then I come down and then I can just, push publish, if I want to publish it. So that is what I do for that. I think I went through that pretty quickly. Yeah, I'm going to leave that. Okay, so let me see over here. When an item sells, Etsy gives you the customer info to yeah, they do. It'll come up. I would show it, but I don't want to share my customer stuff. It'll show, and then you just select print shipping label, and it'll pull up, all of their info, and you just enter in, this is how I'm shipping it. Now on eBay, this is another thing I like about Etsy. On eBay, you have to designate how you're going to ship it. I know there's a way to give the buyer options to select first class, priority, on Etsy, if I say $6, then I get to choose. I mean, you can set it up where the buyer chooses, but basically if I say $6 and I'm choosing to ship it, well, media mail, if it's a CD or a book, or I'm shipping it priority, in a padded mailer, you have a little more leeway and choice as far as how you're setting up your Etsy shipping and all of that. So you can choose to give the buyer more selections in that respect if you choose to, or you can do it on your own. Yeah. So is there a sell similar like on eBay? No, I mean, there's just like like on your own listings, there's a copy. So if there's, let's say I'm coming over to, I don't think so. I'm clicking on men's shirts. I'm just randomly opening something up. So let's see. Let me screen share. I don't think so. So let's say I want to do this tree shirt. Like, ooh, I have a shirt like that. Like, there's no way for me to copy this person's listing at all, unless I went through and like copied and pasted what they've got in there. But if you're doing your own, then you can copy your own listing. Does that make sense? Kind of like what I did. I keep opening the wrong thing. So if I had, maybe I didn't have the same exact brooch, but I had one similar, I can copy this listing and create a similar listing based on that. Let's see. There's copying. Great. Okay. Oh, bye, Tam. Thank you. I don't know the answer to that, Noor. Sorry. I think I've hit all the questions at this time. There may be more that pop up later. Hang on. Let me drop the chat down so I can talk to you guys. So yeah, again, hopefully this answered some of the questions. I know it was kind of like a messy format where we're just going through answering questions, but hopefully some of your questions got answered. If you have more questions, concerns, leave a comment down below. Join me over on Facebook at International League of Thrifters or Texas Gal Treasures, and I can do another video if more questions come up to address the things. But I hope you'll consider Etsy. They don't pay me, so I just really enjoy it, and I find that I can sell things on both platforms, so it's been good for me too. All right, yeah, I've got other videos as far as like going step by step through listing and through photographing and things like that, so I can link them or tag them here somewhere for you guys. And yeah, so I hope you guys have a really great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye everybody. Oh gosh, here we go. Every time. Here we go. Bye guys. Have a great day.